The NASCAR season is right around the corner. One team making headlines recently is the number 43 driven by Erik Jones. Legacy Motor Club took a noticeable leap last year with both of their full-time cars. Now they have added veteran crew chief Justin Alexander to the 43 team. We'll talk to Erik Jones about that move and so much more here in just a few moments. But before we can get the Erik and Erik show started, the NASCAR Pole Position 2026 season launch edition is here. This is the full season preview, drivers, storylines. They listed 75 things to watch. It is a true collectible, something you keep, not something you simply scroll past. You've got two ways to get it. You can buy the season launch edition by itself, or get it as part of a full year NASCAR Pole Position subscription where you'll receive every issue this season. Perfect for race fans who want more depth than simply headlines and tweets. You can get it now at dailydownforce.com/shop or click the link down in the description below. But with that being said, now let's invite driver 43 Erik Jones onto the show. I am now joined by Legacy Motor Club driver Erik Jones. Erik, it's great to have you here. The season is right around the corner. How are you enjoying these final few days before racing? Are you keeping warm? You got to be used to the cold down there, right?
Yeah, I don't mind the cold too much. I'd rather, I like this better than the 100-degree days that we get in the summer in Charlotte. Those get a little brutal, but it's been good. Just been spending a little bit more time with family last weekend with having a few days off, and well, we were snowed in as well, so that was fun though. Kind of just chilling, and then this week back at it today, knocking out some sim and some interviews and more season kickoff stuff for Legacy this week, just with sponsors and the team and everything. So it's a busy time of year. You're kind of back in the swing of things, but you're also doing a lot of stuff that you only do this time of year. So I'm excited to get to Daytona, get through that, and kind of feel like we get more in like a regular week-to-week swing.
Yeah, get back in that weekly grind that you got to be getting used to, because I was looking at this. You're going into your 10th year of Cup Series racing. Where does the time go? I'm sure fans still remember you or recognize you as that Jones boy. So, I mean, has it set in yet that you've been doing this now for nearly a decade?
Well, it doesn't feel that long, and honestly, probably because I'm still pretty young, only be 30 this year. So, it hasn't really wore on me any, I guess. I've had to change some things, right? I think just taking fitness more seriously and getting in better shape in the last handful of years has been important. Just with age and recovery gets harder. But other than that, no, it's flown by really. I look at the years and you think back to, my time in the 77 and the 20 and first year in the 43, all those things feel like they were not that long ago. So yeah. It's went quick. It's all been good and fun, but it's went fast.
Yeah, you blink and you miss it just like that. I'm looking, it's like Chase Elliott's in his 11th year now. Blaney's, I think, in his 11th year. Like, whoa, what happened? Like, I don't feel old. I'm sure you feel this way. Like, we don't feel old very often, but it's moments like this where you go, wow, blink and you'll miss it. Well, I want to talk to you about your team's performance going into the new year. I mean, going back to last season, it was clear from anyone watching that Legacy Motor Club took a leap. Both you and your teammate improved average finish, points finish, just the speed was more consistent. What was different last year? What seemed to start clicking for you guys, in your opinion?
Well, I think at the end of 24, we brought on a lot of new people, and it took some time for everybody to get integrated and get comfortable and even find their roles. Some of the people that they're still there, but they're in different roles now than they were when we first had them come over to the team. So I think some of that had to get sorted out. I think there was some time still with Toyota and getting comfortable with what information we got from them and what we were going to have to get on our own and create on our own. And a lot of that's been ironed out now. Some of it was getting pit crews better. There was just a handful of things, right? It's a little bit of everything that there's no magic thing we did that made the change. It was a little bit of everybody just doing better. And so I think you're seeing the fruits of that a little bit now, especially towards the latter half of last year. And again, moving some more people around, right? Ben, my crew chief last year, moving into engineering and the setup development wasn't something we had planned until very late in the year. And bringing Justin back on board. So we're still finding everybody's place and role that's comfortable, but it's been a little bit all those moves.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to ask you about next. One of the surprising announcements of the last few weeks was the news that Justin Alexander will be your crew chief. I mean, we know about the success he had at RCR with Austin Dillon, and so to see him now on the 43 working with you, who initiated that move? Like, how did that come together?
Yeah, I guess it was late last year. I can't remember the exact moment, but it was within the last couple of months of the season that our competition director, Jacob, and I sat down and he kind of threw the idea out there of Ben moving into that role. And, would I be comfortable with it, and who would be someone that could replace Ben that I would be happy with. And, they're very cognizant of me and what I need and what I want as a driver. So, I said, look, I think we can make that work, but the only guy that really pops my head is Justin, that could come in that role as a crew chief and someone I would feel good with right off the bat. So just his experience level, competing against him in years past with him on the 3-car and seeing their success and their strengths, I thought there was just a lot of things there that would have been good for us to be able to try to work together. So I was happy to hear he was coming back. He was off the road for a handful of years. Yeah. He was part-time with us. He wasn't even full-time. So was happy to hear he was willing to come back and excited to get going. I really think we can do some good stuff.
It'll be your third different crew chief now in the last 3 seasons. Does that present any challenges or maybe opportunities in your opinion?
Probably both. I think the challenge, right, is I don't think I've mentioned before just turnover, right? And turnover is never great. And this wasn't necessarily turnover. It was more of a reorganizing of people, but it's still challenging to move to a new crew chief, just from obviously the driver relationship and getting to know each other, but also from the team relationship, right? These guys that are working on the car, they need to understand the cadence of Justin and what he needs from them and what they need from him. They had worked with Ben for 3 years. So there's some learning that we're going to have to go through on everybody's part, but I think the opportunity is that our cars are getting better. This could be obviously a great fit for me. I hope a long-term fit. I'm not someone who really likes to jump around people, and I like to stay loyal to my people. And so I hope that Justin's someone we can work together for a long time and have a lot of success. So I think the opportunity is just in that the cars are getting better, and Justin has a chance that we can work together for a long time.
Absolutely. I want to ask you real quick about the North Wilkesboro test you were a part of last week or a couple weeks ago. We know that was really the first time y'all got to feel the additional now 750 horsepower in the next-gen car. I know there were a bunch of different aero, I think some different splitter elements that they tested. Was there anything that stood out to you? I'm sure fans want to hear about the horsepower. Could you feel a difference in the seat at all? What stood out to you from that test?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little weird hopping back in the car every year, because you just feel like you're going fast no matter what. But I could definitely notice it on the bottom end. I think you go to a lot of these short tracks and you get back to the throttle, and the car to me always felt a little doggy and didn't have a lot of get up and go. And a lot of that was knocked down. I was asking kind of our guys, and it's quite a bit more power, really. It's 80 to 100 horsepower more than what we had. So it's noticeable, I would say, on the bottom end a lot, but it does feel like you're going a little faster down the straightaway too. It feels like it's just pulling better through the whole power band. I hope it helps out. I think we've done a lot of work with the tires and trying to get fall off, but I don't think we had enough power to kind of supplement that tire and how much it wanted to fall off. So I think it's going to help on that. Some of the aero stuff we ran through, not to bring anybody down, there was nothing groundbreaking, but I think there's some opportunities, some stuff we did that maybe in the future can come around and help out. It won't be right away, but I think there might have been some things we can look into more.
Hey, that's encouraging to hear. Glad to hear the horsepower. You could feel it, because I've heard some drivers say, it's negligible. Some folks like to downplay it, and fans don't want to hear that get downplayed. So you're giving us what we want to hear. I also want to get your take while I have you on the new Chase, the return of the Chase, though with 16 drivers pointing their way now instead of 10 or 12. Greater emphasis on points racing now. One win isn't going to necessarily save your whole season. I want to get your take as a team that seems to be ascending, took a leap last year, hopefully will be in that Chase contention this season. Like, are you excited about the new format, or are there any things you would have liked to see done differently?
I was excited about it. I think the playoff format we had with the old car worked for a while, and we saw some great and exciting races and finishes, deserving champions. I think it got a little convoluted with the next gen car, because there's more opportunities for guys just to win races that maybe wouldn't have won races with the old car or been in the playoffs in the past. And so sometimes there was some oddities in the playoffs that were just a little mixed up and getting a little weird. And so
sure.
I think with this, though, all as a driver, I think most of us would agree that having a whole season's body of work on your back, going to Homestead at the end of the year with a shot to win a championship is very, very rewarding. And the pressure's higher, honestly, as a driver. Mm-hmm. If you look at it week to week and at the end of the year, I can remember winning the truck championship 2015. That was the old points. And the pressure was immense. I could, going into Homestead, there was a shot for 3 guys to win the title. To go out there and try to have a really great day, not have a mistake was a lot of pressure. And then the next season, I was in Xfinity in the playoffs with a 4 driver championship race at Homestead. I didn't think there was any pressure, because it's like, well, you just got to go out and try to, you just got to try to win. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. So I think a lot of things are going to be better and more exciting for drivers and fans. And I'm excited. I think it's going to be a really close points race with this car. I think it's gonna be hard to see someone break away.
Yeah, I think that last point you just made is absolutely true as well. I know I'm looking forward to it. A lot of fans are definitely looking forward to it as well. Erik, I'll wrap up with this. I guess we began talking a little bit about the weather. I guess we'll finish with the weather. Looking ahead to Bowman Gray this weekend. I don't know, the most recent forecast I've seen calls for the possibility of some snow flurries in Winston-Salem. What do you expect this weekend as the season officially gets rolling?
Well, I mean, not even taking the snow into account, there's a lot of challenges with the cold. Number one, right, our cars don't run antifreeze, so it's going to be hard. You're going to be running the cars a lot just to keep them from freezing up during the day. It's going to be well below freezing all day long and into the night, so you're going to be doing that a lot. As far as like heat and components, I don't know. I mean, rear ends and hubs and everything, it's extremely cold for a lot of those components. Brakes going from that cold to that hot, that quick. There's a lot of questions. There's just a lot of unknowns, right? I mean, these parts have been put through these tests for extreme circumstance such as this, but, I don't know if I've ever raced anything near this cold. So there's a lot of unknowns, honestly, going into it. It's going to be hard to get the cars going, get the tires up to temp on a track like Bowman Gray, be sliding around like crazy, firing off, and the track's going to be pretty slick to get going. So, yeah, a lot of questions, but, we'll see what happens. Fortunately, it's an exhibition race at the end of the day. We all want to go win, but no points. So we'll go have fun with it and make the best show we can if we go.
Yeah, you will put on a show, I'm sure. I always say, from my seat, it's most fun when the drivers and teams are a little uncomfortable. It sounds like there will be a lot of uncertainty Saturday, Sunday night, weather permitting. Erik Jones, thank you so much for spending a little time chatting with us this morning, and good luck start of the season. Hope you have a great run at Bowman Gray, and Daytona right around the corner, coming up fast.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.